Sitting loud at the mic, discussing politics, their passion ignites. Conservative values, they stand their ground. In a world of chaos, their truth can be found. Unsanctioned America, they won't back down. Voices of reason in a liberal town. Oh, John and Tom bringing the heat. In a podcast storm, they won't face defeat. Speaking their minds, it's a freedom fight. Unsanctioned America, they'll light up the night. They break it down, what's fair and what's right, calling out the nonsense, shining a light. With every debate, they sharpen their blade, fighting for freedom, the lights only lay. In a nation divided, they'll rise above with passion and truth and a whole lot of love. Oh, John and Tom bringing the heat. In a podcast storm, they won't face defeat. Speaking their minds, it's a freedom fight. Unsanctioned America, they'll light up the night. So tune in and listen, join the crusade for a brighter tomorrow. The truth will not fade.
Trump will not be president.
Highly critical, biased text messages between senior FBI officials Peter Strzok and Lisa Page.
There will be no question about the outcome of this election.
And she got ahead of herself. This utterly stunned this campaign.
Head home. You should get some sleep. We'll have more to say tomorrow.
Our constitutional democracy enshrines the peaceful transfer of power.
The peaceful transition of power is one of the hallmarks of our democracy. We want to do everything we can to help you succeed, because if you succeed, then the country succeeds.
These declassified documents that were just released.
Officials in the Obama administration were asking for the identities to be unmasked of Americans.
Unmasking of aides and staffers of the incoming president.
The basic charge, political spying.
To disrupt the peaceful transfer of power.
Unmasking of American citizens. It could be a real problem.
Why is it that the unmasking of Flynn somehow ended up in the pages of the Washington Post?
I know nothing about those moves to investigate Michael Flynn.
The vice president said that yesterday, and then the last name on this list is Joe Biden.
The Obama administration was bitter. They wanted to do everything they could to undermine the incoming Trump administration.
Really designed to sabotage and really upend the new administration.
An outgoing president and a vice president and a Washington Post columnist and the FBI setting up an incoming administration. Wow. That's a real conspiracy, and nobody wants to talk about it.
had to focus. I was the hunted, and now I'm the hunter.
Well, let's hope that's the case, John. Let's hope that's the case.
Yeah, I would hate to be the prey on the end of that statement,
Yeah, absolutely. And
what an amazing turn of events. This is an amazing, amazing time in American history. We are watching so many things unfold, so many complexities now at stake. And unlike the previous administration and the Obama administration, previous to the first Trump administration, this is just a huge window into what's going on today that we have not had. Yeah. With the exception of all the Epstein stuff going on, right? I don't think that the American people feel that is an open window. I don't think that we have a good grasp on that. But certainly, we do know what happened in those elections. I think that fewer and fewer people are now denying that there were election problems. And that's not even the part that he's talking about. He's talking about the by officials in the United States government, the undermining of the United States government. And what is essentially, I think that we can use the word now, the coup that the deep state tried to pull off on Trump. And it did pull off, right? It's just that they couldn't stay in power. And we just saw what a coup looks like in the United States. It's not like a coup we've seen internationally. It's not like a coup the top that we have in other countries where there's a revolution, they come in, they chop the head off of the dictator. This is a whole new kind of coup, an American coup.
Yeah.
And that's if you don't, I guess, consider the JFK thing, right? So, amazing. Well, welcome to another episode of Unsanctioned America. I am former school board member John Aguero. This is my great friend, citizen Tom Warren. And this is Unsanctioned America, episode 316, July 19. So, let's get down to business. We're going to do a quick prayer, and then we're going to get down to the show. Lord, we pray for our country. These are complicated times. We know that there are complicated decisions that need to be made. We know that President Trump has our best interests at heart. That's the reason that we have supported President Trump. As I said many times on social media, it's not because our country is about Trump, but it's because Trump is about our country that we are supporting him to the degree that we have. And we pray that he continues to keep the interests of the United States and the American family at heart of all of his decisions. We pray that you inspire all Americans to do everything that they can to ensure that their country represents a nation that makes you proud, that brings honor to your name. Lord, we are very grateful that we can participate in this country and in the process of this country's democracy and upholding this constitutional republic. And we hope that it inspires people across the world to fight for freedom in their own countries, because that's what we're doing here.
Absolutely.
And we pray for this in your son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. All right, John, let's get into some news. All right, John. So this just broke yesterday, and this is just incredible. And I think it's something that we all knew. We knew in our heart of hearts, but now the proof is here, and we know who was really behind it, John. Here is Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard confirming that Obama and Obama administration officials attempted a coup against President Trump.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sean. This is such an important issue, and I just want to start by saying that this is an issue that is important to every single one of us as Americans. This is not a partisan issue. It has to do with the integrity and the strength of our democratic republic. And it lays out this over 100 documents that you're referencing that I released, declassified and released, spells out in great detail exactly what happens when you have some of the most powerful people in our country directly leading at the helm, President Obama and his senior-most national security cabinet, James Comey, John Brennan, James Clapper, and Susan Rice and others, essentially making a very intentional decision to create this manufactured, politicized piece of intelligence with the objective of subverting the will of the American people, who in November of 2016 delivered a historic victory to President Trump, defeating Hillary Clinton. And President Obama and his team, their goal was to essentially not accept the decision of the American people and to use this manufactured, politicized intelligence as a means to enact what would become essentially a years-long coup against President Trump. You have gone into great detail over these years of what the effects of this document and this decision have resulted in. Obviously, a years-long Mueller investigation that cost taxpayers almost $40 million, 2 congressional impeachments, endless smears and attacks against not only President Trump, but his family. He had senior members of his team who were investigated, some arrested and jailed. We had heightened and increased tensions between the United States and Russia. The list goes on and on about the consequences of President Obama and his senior cabinet members politicizing intelligence once again, and I say these words very clearly, to enact what was essentially a years-long coup, subverting the will of the American people in that election in November. Now, you referenced this President's Daily Brief document.
All right, we're just going to leave it at that because this went on for 8 minutes. This was an 8-minute conversation, and I suggest, even if you don't like Sean Hannity, you go watch the full 8 minutes. It's everywhere right now. You can find it anywhere. John, this is unbelievable that this is being released now. We find this, and like I said earlier, this confirms what I think we all knew all along.
This is the whole reason that the United States cares, the American people care about Epstein. We have lost control over our country. Now it's been, our worst fears is confirmed, that the government has a life of its own and it's trying to preserve itself and it's trying to have its own identity outside of the American people. That's not the intended American system. The American system is that the government is limited, the American people are supreme. The people who are elected are providing a service, and all of that is out of whack. Now we have politicians who think that they're an aristocracy. You have a government that thinks that it's an actual person, that it has its own interests aside from the American people's interest. You have political leaders who lie, cheat, steal on their families, on the American people, on their jobs. It's never ending. Now, we're just as corrupt as any banana republic. And this coup, it should be shocking to everyone. Not surprising, but shocking that it's now confirmed that the intention of the previous administration and the administration prior to Trump's first presidency intended completely to cause the downfall of President Trump and the government for the sake of their own power positions. And they should go to jail for that.
Absolutely.
And I hope that this is what they do now. The DOJ obviously has a tough job to do. Now they're going to have to prove all this stuff. They're going to have to take all these powerful people. But this is exactly how you bring the government back into control from this out of control nature. Now you'll see all these middle managers, all these people in the middle, all these career bureaucrats. Now they'll be scared because they know one thing. If they're willing to go after the top people, if we can put Obama behind bars, if we can put Obama at a defendant's table, then they know very easily that they can get fired and put in the same position, and they're not the millionaires that Obama is. So this is a key time in our company. Unfortunately, the DOJ is going to have to do this now with a tremendous hit to their credibility after their Epstein debacle.
Yeah, absolutely, John. And you know, they did arrest President Trump. They booked him. They put out his mugshot. I can't see any reason why we can't do the same thing to Barack Obama, especially with this revelation.
Yeah, absolutely. They put Trump's mugshot out there, which was basically a boon to the American people for a lie put forth by some crazy people.
Yeah.
And absolutely, Obama should be dragged down there, have his mugshot taken, Hillary Clinton, all of the people who participated, Adam Schiff, they should all of them, everybody who lied under oath. Now, unfortunately, it's in the Constitution that these politicians have an extended right, an extended privilege to lie in a congressional proceeding or in the course of their job. But wherever they can be held accountable, they should be held accountable severely.
Absolutely.
And we put an end to this.
Absolutely. I agree. And we'll see. We'll see if there's accountability. I really hope so. I hope we see Barack Obama go down for this. And we did talk about on our last America show how they were launching this investigation into Comey and Brennan. And Comey and Brennan are tied directly into this. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Now, a lot of people have said that this was brought out to distract MAGA from Epstein. Now, I don't know if you believe that, John. I don't know if I believe that, honestly. I mean, you know, we talked about that launch, like I said, on the last America show of this investigations. Then this comes out. I don't think that this is going to distract people from Epstein.
I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
I don't think, let's say that its intention is to distract, and it might be, very well be. What difference does it make if it's true?
Yeah.
It's forcing the DOJ to do its job in that same pace and same style as Trump does everything else, immediately, without hesitation.
Yeah.
And that's what we want. We want the DOJ to act. Why is there so much frustration over Epstein? Because we still have no action.
Yeah. It's about accountability.
Yeah, it's about accountability. So at the end of the day, that Epstein list, we know, is full of celebrities and politicians. If those celebrities and politicians are going to go down for this instead, right, then what difference does it make? Because we're getting accountability. We still have to answer for what happened with Epstein. I still lost all faith in Pam Bondi. Why? Because I know, like a lot of people are saying she's some dumb blonde or whatever. No, that's not the case. Pam Bondi is intelligent. She's savvy. She's sophisticated. She should have known better. She should have given our president way better advice than this.
Yeah.
She should have said, one thing that we now know is that she's not a communication specialist. So she should have said from the very beginning, listen, the Epstein files have been ruined. The previous administration, which is responsible for attempting a coup in the United States, also doctored all these files. And now we can no trust any of the files. So what we're going to do is we're going to investigate who put their fingers on this. We're going to completely and totally bring it down to the granular level. And everyone who is involved in destroying it or protecting pedophiles is going to be held accountable. But give us more time.
Yep.
That's what she should have said.
And that's a good segue into our next segment, John, because, you know, this story here about this attempted coup lends credibility to President Trump when he does double down on Epstein files being manufactured. And here's one instance of him saying that.
The Attorney General briefed you on the DOJ and FBI review, the findings of that review. The Attorney General briefed you on that.
What? On the
DOJ and FBI
on what?
review.
On what subject?
Epstein.
Okay.
On Epstein, of the review of the files. Attorney General Pam Bondi.
A very quick briefing.
Did she tell you, what did she tell you about the review? And specifically, did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file?
No. She's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen. And I would say that, you know, these files were made up by Comey They were made up by Obama. They were made up by the Biden, we went through years of that with the Russia hoax, with all of the different things that we had to go through. We've gone through years of it, but she's handled it very well, and it's going to be up to her. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release. Yeah.
On Texas, how many?
So he basically is saying he's leaving it up to her, and he said this again just recently, John.
One big prosecutor look at it all. Would that make you feel good, you think?
Well, I think it's in the case of Epstein, they've already looked at it, and they are looking at it, and I think all they have to do is put out anything credible. But, that was run by the Biden administration for 4 years. I can imagine what they put into files, just like they did with the others. I mean, the Steele dossier was a total fake.
Right.
It took 2 years to figure that out for the people. And all of the things that you mentioned were fake. Yeah. So I would imagine if they were run by Chris Wray and they were run by Comey, and because it was actually even before that administration, they've been running these files. And so much of the things that we found were fake with me, but especially you look at that Steele dossier where they paid like 14 or 16 million. That's more than James Patterson gets paid to do a #1 bestseller.
Isn't that crazy?
And the thing turned out to be a total scam. So frankly, I think I love that they're looking at all this stuff. If they are, I hope they are.
Oh, there you go. And yeah.
So here's the thing. He's telegraphing what happened, right? He's telling us that they've messed with the files. There's no more integrity in that investigation, in the products of the previous investigation. I believe that 100%. That's totally believable. But why aren't we just saying that?
No.
Why? Put them in jail. Go chase them down. Here's the thing. The best thing that you could do is go to the people at the bottom first and keep making them sweat until they turn on the people who are in charge. So whoever the previous AG was, right? We know who that dirtbag is. They should go to jail. They should be held responsible. They should, the people from the government should lose their. These are all rich people, anyways. But it's not a money thing. But you'd be surprised how quickly that these people find themselves in a financial predicament because they have to protect themselves legally, and legal fees are not cheap. And the funny thing is, we saw it happen with General Flynn.
Yep.
Right? They attacked General Flynn, and they attacked General Flynn, and they attacked General Flynn, and they made it very financially painful for him, and that's what we should be doing to them. Not in terms of retribution, not for retribution, for justice sake. Right? We should be doing the right thing to the people who did things wrong.
Absolutely.
So we need to do that. We need to take action, and we need to recover. The DOJ is forever harmed with Bondi until Bondi leaves, and I'm sure that she will leave and go get a show or something like that. It's just Trump is not somebody who admits defeat, right? So he has to win, and then after the win, he'll get rid of her because he knows that the American people have lost all favor in her.
Yeah. Oh, I hope that's the case, John. There was an interesting point. Funny that it was brought up on the Morning Schmo show, but he had Jamie Raskin on and asked him this.
State Congressman, you could have gotten that from 21 to 25 when Democrats controlled the DOJ. Why? It was a crisis then. It's a crisis now. Why didn't Democrats call for it from 21 to 25?
So, you'd have to go back and look specifically at particular prosecutorial decisions and what was taking place in terms of the other cases. So I don't know. We could try to reconstruct that record. But the point is that Donald Trump is the one who has led the crusade to say that that Epstein, who was his very close friend, and there's all kinds of pictures of them.
He has no answers, John. He has no answers.
The bottom line is these guys had control over it. They never released anything. Yep. For them, it was an insurance. Why? For a variety of reasons. Number one, they're creating false evidence. They're putting it into the record. That's illegal. Yep. It comes with risk, right? So in order to kill Trump, they're going to put Trump's face all over Epstein. Pretend like they were great friends. Okay. But at the same time, they have the risk of having done something that was false and incorrect. And then that's illegal. The second thing is that after you just have that surface level, this is illegal, what they're doing is wrong, you got to find out the truth about Epstein. And then the truth of Epstein is that the reason that they didn't just throw this out on Trump in the public while he was running or anything like that.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing is that Trump made a bunch of mistakes because he allowed Pam Bondi and his allies. They say, I haven't seen any real blockbusting statement by Trump saying release the Epstein files. But you know who has done it? His son.
Yeah.
Right? Don Jr. has.
Yep.
He's talked about Epstein a lot.
Yep.
You have Dan Bongino, talked about it a lot. You have Kash Patel, who talked about it a lot. And so that tells us that they didn't know what was in the Epstein files. You do know, but you know what's in the original Epstein files, or you know what's been released in that case in New York.
Yeah.
So I think that we're going to have to go up, get those court files unsealed, look at that. That's going to tell us a lot of what we want to know. And then the FBI files that they've done it, I don't know. Maybe we'll never find the truth out.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing.
What they've done is not okay. And even what the Trump administration done regarding Epstein is not okay. That approach is the same approach that we would have expected from Hillary Clinton. That's not what we want. That's not what's acceptable. And he was held accountable. Because I think that you see like all these polling saying that, people care about this. They're not dropping it. They're going to continue saying it. He's lost a lot of friends. He made a very, very big error in accusing his supporters of whatever, like not being loyal or whatever, this or that. Listen, the American people are not called to be loyal to President Trump. They're called to be loyal to the country. That's why they love Trump. It's not because Trump is a great real estate developer. It's not because Trump is hilarious, which I always thought he is and has been. It's not because Trump has a great personality. I agree that he does. It's, the reason we love Trump is because we feel like he's protecting us, right? We feel like he's protecting our country. And we don't need to have like a pillowcase pulled over our head. We want the truth.
Right.
And we want to see everything. The transparency that Trump has famous for is one of the reasons that we love him. And we want that to continue. Yeah. And we don't want to be beat up by our president when we question. Because nobody's abandoned him. I mean, some have. I say that, 5% of his supporters have left him over the things that he has said, not over Epstein. And that's just a damn shame.
Yep. And, John, some of these are major supporters, but of course, many of them aren't. And we're going to talk about that now because, we saw Raskin on Morning Schmo and he was going after Trump, even though the Morning Schmo asked him, why didn't you guys release it when you guys had power?
I can't believe that they were honest for a moment.
I know, right? It's unbelievable, but that hasn't prevented Democrats, including Dollar Store Obama, Hakeem Jeffries, going after President Trump and the administration over Epstein.
Discourse about Jeffrey Epstein. Is this appropriate for your members to be doing so? Did you want to see any action on that front?
The American people deserve to know the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth as it relates to this whole sordid Jeffrey Epstein matter. Democrats didn't put the Jeffrey Epstein thing into the public domain. This was a conspiracy that Donald Trump, Pam Bondi, and these MAGA extremists have been fanning the flames of for the last several years. And now the chickens are coming home to roost.
And then we have MSNBC playing videos like this, John.
Please do not let that story go.
Who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book.
FBI.
But who? That is I mean, there's
that's under direct control of the director of the FBI.
What the hell are the House Republicans doing? They have the majority. You can't get the list? Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would.
This isn't about Epstein or 9/11 or JFK or RFK. It is, but it isn't. It's about a bigger thing. If you're lying about that, you're lying about everything. Who's on the Epstein tapes, folks? Who's on those tapes? Who's in those black books? Why have they been hiding it?
And this is something Donald Trump has talked about. The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
Everything's going to come out to the public. The public has a right to know. Americans have a right to know.
Yeah, that was played on MSNBC, John. And we not only are the Democrats going after the Trump administration over this, it is supposed allies like Alex Jones, Candace Owens, and even Tucker.
I mean, of course. Here's the thing. I think it's perfectly reasonable to demand. We were all waiting on that. By the way, yesterday, the Justice Department formally requested the unsealing of grand jury records. So I think that's what's damaging. I think that the files that they have now, they've realized that they're not credible. But those files that were sealed by the court, those should be all what was the evidence that was given, right, in Epstein's issue.
You know what's funny, John? I don't know if you caught this in that MSNBC video, but they had an interview with President Trump from when he was running for president back in 2024, saying they asked him if he would release the Epstein files, and he said, well, yeah, I would probably look into that. Yeah, I would look into that. There's probably a lot of phony stuff in there, which is exactly what he's saying now.
Yeah. And I think that he's trying to protect. There's two parties that are being protected here at the same time, right? And this is always a possibility. This is not conspiracy. I think that a lot of us have accepted this as truth, and a lot of people that know far more than I do have accepted this as truth, and this is their truth. That there's two groups being protected. One is the ones that we all know, celebrities, friends of the administration, people of power around the world, and so on. The other is the intelligence community. And the intelligence community of Israel, who are just absurdly involved. The Israeli intelligence community is like a cancer in the United States, in my opinion.
And that's who Tucker is going after.
Yeah, they are making a confused state. They're muddying the waters of what our American interests are. And I love Israel. I would protect Israel. This is not about Israel. It's not about Jewish people or anything crazy like that. It's about the interests of the United States, right? And there's a reason that I would protect Israel, and I would invest in protecting Israel because it's the Holy Land, right?
Yeah.
But the Mossad is not the chosen people of God. The Mossad are the people who sold their souls to the devil to protect Israel. And the people who are protecting, in their opinion, they're protecting Israel. In my mind, they're not protecting Israel. They're creating a situation that can become very dangerous from Israel. All of their gambling, and that's what the intelligence community is. They're gamblers, right? They gamble, they make decisions that impact situations, and they're hoping that it turns out the way that they expect. And it has not always worked.
Yeah.
So that's what the Mossad is doing. And then we look at the United States, and our intelligence community is just as bad as the Mossad. Those two parties together, it's like when you see a pair of drug addict couple, it's terrible to see because neither one of them is there to help each other. They're just two addicts making each other worse.
Yeah.
And that's what the intelligence community. And I think that's one of the reasons. and it's certainly one of the speculations, one of the most common speculations out there, is that this is the lack of transparency is protecting the intelligence community, which apparently Trump is very protective of. He's very protective of Israel, as we've seen.
Yeah, he is. He is, John.
But we know there's a handful of Israeli leaders who spent a lot of time on Epstein Island.
Yep.
And, I don't know. It says something about the Israeli leadership. And I think that's one of the things that he's trying to protect.
Yeah. Well, it was very interesting that Alan Dershowitz, who was at one time Epstein's lawyer, went on TV, and he said it's not the Trump administration that's hiding Epstein information and files, it's judges, and he said that there is no Epstein list.
Is the government hiding a client list or anything that the Trump administration could release tonight?
No, there is no client list. There never has been a client list. A client list suggests that Jeffrey Epstein made a list of people to whom he trafficked women. What there is a redacted FBI affidavit from accusers. There are several of them. From accusers that accuse Jeffrey, that accuse various people of having improper sex. And that has been redacted. The names of the people accused have been blacked out. Now, of course, because I was the lawyer and I did all the investigations, I know who all these people are. I could figure out, based on everything that I saw, who Mr. X is, Mr. Y is, and Mr. Z. I can tell you right now, none of them are public figures who are currently in office. Some of them were previously in office. Some of them are dead. But there is no client list. And the redactions could be undone if you go to court. So many of the things that are being suppressed by two judges in Manhattan. And they're doing it largely to protect the alleged accusers who are, in the view of the judges, victims, even though we don't know what their actual status is. But the judges have issued orders, which is why I can't disclose things I'd love to disclose, saying that you can't disclose this information. But Pam Bondi and the Justice Department and Donald Trump are not responsible for that. I don't know of any information that they could disclose that they haven't disclosed. Now, maybe there is some, but I'm simply not aware of it. And so I think it's important to place the blame where the blame deserves to be placed. The vast majority of people who are in the files, and I know them all, I've seen all the names, the vast majority of them have already been disclosed. They're in articles all over the world.
He's talking about Bill Gates, he's talking about Tom Hanks, he's talking about the Israeli prime ministers, like 4 or 5 of them.
Prince
names are there that haven't already been disclosed.
Yeah.
The media hasn't, by the way, done a good enough job in finding the people who have been disclosed in the public record. So,
yeah, but he blames the media too. He says the media hasn't done a very good job itself of putting out who these people are that are implied in these things. But he does bring up and you can refute what he has to say because he was Epstein's lawyer. He has been to that island. He was on some of the lists that we've seen that were out there on the internet, but you don't know how authentic those are or whatever. But you can't discount some of the things that he's saying and where he's pointing the finger.
Well, I think that we have an idea of who all these people are that he's saying, right?
Yeah.
Now, in the documents that they're having unsealed, they're saying that these all the names are going to be redacted. The co-conspirators that are mentioned are going to be redacted. So, I mean, why? I mean, it's just they're digging a hole. You know, when you're in a hole, put the shovel down.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, stop. Don't cover anything up. And time is not going to make this better. It can only make it worse. You know why? Because people will accept their own thoughts on it if you can't bring clarity to the situation. And the only thing that will bring clarity to the situation is going to be the truth and transparency. So, there's these letters that were mentioned that Trump sent, what's his face. Based on what I looked at, I didn't think it was authentic. It's just not like, it's not something
it's not. Even what's his face came out and said that he's never seen the president doodle on a letter. Who was it? What's his name, John? The the former lawyer.
I don't know.
You know who I'm talking about. That guy.
Okay.
The traitor.
So listen, so I just, you can't trust any of this stuff. You can't question it if you can't see it. And you can't answer any questions that you have if they're being like wishy-washy. And this is it's a terrible gray cloud that's not going to go away. Just let it all out. It's a waste of time to do anything else. If it's everything else is a waste of time. Just let it out. And let the chips fall where they may.
Absolutely.
Certainly the only person that Trump should be interested in protecting is himself.
Yeah.
Right? That's the only person that really matters to the American people, I think. Everybody else that's on that list, I don't think that anybody would hesitate to see them go to jail or to want them to go to jail.
No.
Right? I can't think of anyone. Even if it were any of the big people that we love. If it was Tucker Carlson, if it was, let's say, no matter who you are, what you're aligned with, let's say it's Tom Massey, Tucker Carlson, Ron DeSantis, Trump's son, both of his sons, Trump's daughter, if it was everybody that you love, everybody that you look up to, if it was Cash, if it was everybody, right, that you like in the movement, you would still want them to go to jail.
Yep.
Right? We'd be like, oh, well, it sucks. But you go to jail, no hesitation. The only person that would be like, oh my God, it would be like just a disaster if it was Trump.
Yep.
So
and John, they did it to Trump. They arrested him. They took him to the jailhouse. They had a mugshot out there. They did all this to Trump. And he's by far the most popular individual amongst any of these celebrities or former politicians, any of that. So if you saw Obama go down, you saw Clinton go down, you saw Tom Hanks or somebody, just go down because of this, I don't think it would destroy the public. It wouldn't lead to riots or some craziness.
We imagine that the Clintons are on there.
Yeah.
Right? We imagine that Obama would be on that
Bill
list.
Clinton has been there. He's been there. He's been to the island.
He probably got his pilot's license from being on that Lady Express so much. Everybody else. It could be both the Bush brothers could have been there.
Yeah.
Right? Every Republican in the past could be on that island. Nobody would care. They'd be like, go to jail. Go to jail. Everybody would be like, go to jail, go to jail. The only one that can break our heart, that I think that it would be very hard for, it would really hurt the morale of the United States, would be Trump. And Trump needs to be transparent because that's exactly what he's doing.
We know for a fact, John, that if Trump was on the Epstein list, if he had anything to do with it, the Democrats would have used that against him right away. There would have been no question about it. They would have used that just like they manufactured this other stuff and created this coup that DNI Tulsi Gabbard just revealed. They would have used this against Trump.
Yes.
They didn't have anything. Now they're coming up with this letter out of thin air that was typed. Obviously, it did not come from President Trump. It's a lie, and they're being sued over this by President Trump now.
Who is he suing?
Huh?
Who is he suing?
The paper that released it. I think it was the I can't. Was that
the Post?
It escapes me right now. But I know that they released this supposed letter. President Trump immediately filed a lawsuit. They had Cohen, that's who I was talking about, Cohen, go on TV and say that he's never seen the president doodle. He's never seen the president doodle on a letter. And this is a guy who's a known liar, so you don't know what the truth is with this guy. Yeah, and he doesn't like President Trump.
Would be happy to say, "Oh yes, look at these doodles that Trump sent to me on my birthday."
No,
Cohen is not going to defend Donald Trump.
No.
But listen, it's just BS. It's just BS. That's why Trump should. I don't care if it's got your friends on that list, Trump. You gotta tell the people the truth. And if the truth is that evidence has been ruined by tampering by DOJ officials, they need to be charged, they need to go to jail, they need to be investigated, and that needs to be public. Everything needs to be public. That's the only way that we're going to allow. Now, here's the thing. The danger is not these next 3.5 years. The danger is the next election. I'm not even worried about the midterms. The midterms are going to be painful now, when they were going to be free. Now they're going to be painful. If the presidential election in 2 years, imagine a Democrat winning the presidential election because over Epstein, forget it. Just do the right thing, and the right thing has to be transparent.
Yeah, we just had the anniversary of Butler recently, John, and you know, just think about it, how close we were possibly to a Biden or Kamala Harris presidency, and how different the country would have been. But
listen, that's another key frustration, right? Where the hell are the investigations on all these mass shooters and stuff, right? On all this information. Yeah. Why are we not? Now, this I trust Trump 100%, whether he releases it, whether he doesn't, whatever. I hope that he does, and we need to be too, because he's the one that lost a chunk of his ear from it. So I imagine that he's pissed off about that, and he's going to find out who they are and whatever. No. He's not going to be protecting people over that. So, I mean, I put that in there. I'm good with that. Whatever you choose to do regarding that is fine. But Epstein is an animal that you have to skin.
Absolutely, John. And, you know, a lot of our frustration with the DOJ, especially with Pam Bondi, comes from things that are being said from Pam Bondi. And this is another one, John, where she came out and said that there was 1 minute missing from the Epstein video.
And now there's multiple. Yes.
And now they've proven that it's actually 3 minutes missing from the Epstein video, and that this whole video has been doctored.
All data is something that is in a forensically reliable format, meaning that we can go in and review it and confirm that it matches the original. What has been produced in this case is what you could consider as work product. This is not the original. This is a child of the original. There's so many issues with this video. The minutes missing, the jumps. We can sometimes see a cursor move in the top right corner. There's so many pieces wrong with this video, and for the DOJ to release it, it's strange, and it's kind of unnerving to know that this is the way they want to do this.
It sounds kind of dopey, actually, when you say what you said about the cursor being seen up on the top, because as we all know, surveillance cameras don't have cursors. So is there any way that I'm making a mountain out of a molehill? Is there any way that it's just normal to take a surveillance camera and then have a human download it and have a human send it off to the DOJ and then have the DOJ as humans send it out to us, and that's what we're really seeing?
So actually, I don't think the first part of what you said happened. I don't think that this was a download from a surveillance system. I think this was what we call a screen capture. This is just a copy of a video of a video. So somebody went in with some type of software to actually record what the screen was showing. It's not in a reliable format. It may be reliable as to what was on the screen, but it cannot be confirmed to match what was originally recorded. So I think that's really what we're seeing here is just, it truly is the work product of FBI going in and attempting to change and alter and perhaps try to enhance the video, but it's clearly not the original.
That's very upsetting to hear the words altered. Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, tried to explain it away when the first uproar, shook the internet, that there was a minute and 2 seconds, missing. And she seemed to be very clear that that's normal. Every night, the video system resets right before midnight, and that 1 minute and 2 is just normally gone. Did that sit well with you? Could that be legitimate? Is that part of this problem, or is it really very little to do with the problem that we now see, this larger stitched together with 3 minutes somehow kind of not there?
It makes it stink even worse. There are computers that sometimes we do have to do scheduled restarts to ensure that we're running the correct software. We're running updates for our security. But for a network-attached video storage unit, like if this is what it truly came from, you wouldn't want it to shut down for at least a minute every night. And definitely don't want it to do the same minute every night, especially if word gets out about that. Then you've got a complete minute every day of the year that you're not going to have video for.
Let me ask you about this username. I hadn't heard it before, the second uproar about the raw video release. MJ Cole 1. MJ Cole 1. I'm shocked that smart people like you are able to even see a username that was mussing about with this video. But is it super obvious? Like, was this just all thumbs at the DOJ, sending this out to Attorney General Pam Bondi and making her look like, for lack of a better word, an idiot? Because MJ Cole 1 apparently is quite obvious.
So MJ Cole, I hope, is a digital forensic analyst, somebody that works with surveillance video that was trying to produce a work product. So whether it was truly a work product or they think it is or think it's the original, there's no way to tell. But MJ Cole is a shortened Windows username. So it could be short for MJ Coleman, any other last name that has COLE at the beginning. So there's really no way to tell with what we have now. But that is something that we see in Windows systems for when we see a shortened username.
Is there any chance that the edit, the manipulation, the changes were just done automatically? Like, I know when we talk about the programs, it sounds like that's a human throwing video in and messing with it. But is there any way that you can see that this is all just much ado about nothing, that technically speaking, this could have happened in transfers and there's nothing nefarious about it?
So with what we're seeing now, we can say rather definitively that this is not within the realm of digital forensics best practices. Doing a screen capture of a surveillance system is our last resort in every case that we ever work. We would want to preserve the entirety of that server if that's what it's backing up to. We'd want to preserve the VHS tape if that's how old the system was. But in order to do that, we have to follow any type of forensics crime scene. We want to ensure that we're preserving evidence. So if we're just grabbing a screen capture, we're leaving behind so much data.
So he's basically saying that this video stinks, John.
Oh yeah, it more than stinks. That is a crazy afterthought of a video. I can't imagine that they thought that would pass muster. I don't know who MJ Cole is, but they can't be the smartest guy. To do a screen grab, I didn't even notice those things. But I didn't even look at I didn't even watch the video, right? I just saw the thing was not right. The timing was off, but you immediately hear that it's like been doctored. It's actually missing several minutes. It's just, come on.
Yeah.
It's a joke. Pam Bondi should lose her job 100%. Now, this may be at the direction of Trump, but it doesn't matter. Pam Bondi caught a pass and then she fumbled it, right? Or she got a handoff behind the line of scrimmage and then she's running backwards in the wrong direction. It's just, she needs to go.
Yeah, or it could be like Ashley Banfield said, and that she just grabbed whatever they gave her and put it out there, and
I'm sure
it made her look like an idiot, you know.
I'm sure MJ Cole is not Pam Bondi's username. But my point is that you don't have control over your people. Here's the thing: you create a plan. We're going to release X, Y, and Z. I want to see it all. I want to inspect it. I have my own questions, whatever. She could come out and say, listen, this is a screen grab because we didn't want to manipulate it or touch it at all. So we just recorded off of the screen of what was there. And if you see a doctoring, it was the previous administration or it was Comey or one of the jackasses that was in the DOJ before who they doctored it. And that's why we only took a screen grab of it to show you exactly why we can't just release it to the public, everything that we have, because we can't trust any of its credibility.
No. Well, John Solomon did go on TV recently, and he says that the DOJ is secretly building a conspiracy case against the deep state.
And I think next week, over the next 10 days, the base who's been wondering, where's all that accountability? They're going to get some big surprises over the next week concerning where the conspiracy began a few weeks before Crossfire Hurricane was open and when it ended, all the way in 2024, when they were still trying to pursue Donald Trump to keep him from winning the presidency. There's a big case that's been built by the Justice Department and the FBI. It's been masked by a lot of this infighting and drama and soap opera stuff. But the truth of the matter is, MAGA base Americans are going to be happy when they see where this is all heading in the next few weeks. Kash Patel's going nowhere. I hope Dan Bongino isn't going anywhere, but I do think he's going to take some time over the weekend to think that through.
All right, so that was last week, and yes, Dan Bongino is staying with Trump. He's not going anywhere. We're seeing the beginnings of what John Solomon said with what Tulsi Gabbard released. And now, like you said, John, President Trump did call for Pam Bondi to produce any and all pertinent grand jury testimony subject to a court's approval. And she responded on X that she is ready to move to court tomorrow, which was yesterday, to unseal the grand jury transcripts. So
I think this is listen, two things here. One, that's the wrong attitude by Trump. This is you may not have been pushing this or peddling this conspiracy theory that you're pretending it is, but everyone else in your orbit has. This is important to the American people because they may be pushing some conspiracy in terms of what else is attached, but we know it was happening. He himself was involved. Got Ghislaine Maxwell in jail. Why haven't they interviewed her? Yeah. They can offer her immunity from any other charges besides the 20 years that she's in jail and tell everything. She's already said that she's willing.
Yeah, supposedly, I was going to say, John, she's come out and said that she will testify. I guess Republicans voted against that.
Yeah, so, don't say the conspiracy is being made by the Republicans and by Trump right now. They're the ones creating the conspiracy right now. And I don't understand why they would do that. It makes no sense.
Well, do you think, John, that maybe at this point, with everything that's coming to light right now, do you think that President Trump is actually playing 4D chess?
No, I think that's... So everybody keeps saying that, right? 3D chess. He's playing 4D chess. He's playing 8D chess. He's playing 9D chess. Listen, just play one-dimensional chess right now and win. Win on the chessboard, a flat chessboard. Win that. Because right now, he wins every battle on a straight-up regular chessboard, not 3D, not 5D chess. First of all, every person I've heard talks about 5D chess sounds like a total idiot. This is a straight-up chess game, right? The Democrats play the chess game. Chess games are thinking far into the future also. This multi-dimensional chess strategy, whatever, Pam Bondi apparently hasn't taken a class on chess at that level. Look what she's done.
Yeah.
The reason that Trump has won is because he's backed by the American people. He's backed by the American people because he's playing the chess that we're all familiar with. He says things that hold them accountable. He says the things that the average American wants to say. He does things that the American person wants to see done. He does it quickly. Okay, that's a pretty simple formula. Tell the truth, be genuine, take action on the things that you say you're going to do. That's what makes a perfect employee, right?
Yeah.
And that is our number one employee of everyone in the United States, every American citizen. And that's why we like him. So I don't care if he's got a good or bad sense of humor or anything else. The guy shows up to work every day. He's never late. He works hard when he's here. He goes home. He causes no drama, right? This guy takes care of business, but with drama. Love him. Okay? He's even funner than an employee that doesn't cause drama because he does his work really well. Except, and his only fumble to date pretty much is Epstein. This is important to the American people. The American people are your boss. I know that he doesn't like to hear that because he's never had a boss, but the American people are your boss. This is what the American people want. So don't downplay your dependence, because I said this with all these influencers, in these spaces with all these influencers. Somebody was saying that, oh, well, diligent Denizen, he doesn't have a power base outside of Trump. Who is he? Because he's very on the edge of, transparency and Epstein. Tucker Carlson doesn't have a base outside of Donald Trump. Listen, Donald Trump does not have a base outside of the American people. The important thing is the American people. Do what the American people want. And the American people want justice and transparency on Epstein and the government entirely. Okay? We don't want any more runaway secrets that are just for their own. We don't want a government that is alive. We want a dead government that responds to the American people.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, John. All right, so we'll see what more comes of this if these grand jury transcripts actually produce something of interest to the people. And I hope they do, and I hope this puts to rest all of this stuff, John. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and take things across the nation.
Don't trust him. He's got shifty eyes.
It's because he got shifty eyes.
He looks a little shifty, don't you think?
He seems real shifty.
Shifty Schiff, and this is Adam Shifty Schiff.
Yeah, it absolutely is Adam Shifty Schiff, John, and that name has more meaning than ever now, John. Because Adam Schiff has been referred to the DOJ for mortgage fraud.
Big update for you on reporting we did here at Just the News last October around California Senator Adam Schiff, the man behind Russia collusion. Remember him? And a concern about mortgage fraud concerns. Last year, we reported that Senator Schiff had repeatedly declared in mortgage filings that two of his homes, one in California, one in Maryland, were both in his primary residences. And that is a problem because Americans are only allowed to claim one primary residence, which is the home that they live in the majority of the year. Claiming both homes as his primary residence ended up netting the senator some great benefits like lower mortgage interest rates, tax advantages, and the ability to run for the House in California. Now, fast forward to today, and the president is now speaking about it. Why? Because Fannie Mae, the mortgage giant, has concluded there's a reason to believe his conduct, that is Adam Schiff's conduct, was mortgage fraud. They've made a referral to the Justice Department on Truth Social this morning. President talked about it, and then he gave some comments about it in response to a question by Real America's Voice's own Brian Glenn. Take a listen.
First, Letitia James, alleged mortgage fraud. Now we have Adam Schiff allegedly committed mortgage fraud at all. Yeah. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I just saw it, and I think the thing with Adam Schiff is very serious, and I think what they have on Letitia James is very serious. That's a very, very serious situation. But I have to leave that up to the district attorneys and to the prosecutors and to the attorney general, most importantly. And Adam Schiff looks very serious. Look, he's a sleazeball. Everybody knows it. And I was a little surprised. I thought he would have covered his bases a little bit better than that. Adam Schiff is a lowlife. He deserves what he gets.
Wow, no settled in.
He absolutely does, John. That is very true. Very true.
It's so funny that he calls him a low life. He has such little respect for these guys, and we know that Adam Schiff is a low life. He really is. You have to come from a place like California to be elected when you're a guy like Adam Schiff. I hate to blame it on the community of California, but how dumb do you have to be to elect a guy like Adam Schiff? It's supposed to be representative. I want to meet the people that acknowledge the fact that they are well represented by Adam Schiff. Like, that's a representation of you, of your feelings, Adam Schiff.
I mean, that says it all right there, John, or just like New York and Mamdani. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's a representation of you, and man, it's just sad and it's gross.
Yeah, but you know what, John? We've always suspected that there is massive election fraud in states like California and New York. So it wouldn't surprise me if that's how these characters hold on to their seats, because I cannot believe that these people are that stupid or have been that stupid for that long to continue to elect these individuals. And that goes for here locally too, where we are in Osceola County. We know that there's election fraud going on. And let's just move on from there, because we had played a while back on one of the America shows the New Jersey governor talking that he was going to allow an illegal alien to live in his home. Well, he's been referred or subpoenaed by Alina Habba now for harboring this illegal alien in his home.
Democratic Governor Phil Murphy declared on Saturday that he and the First Lady are allowing someone pursuing legal status to stay at their home. The governor a little vague on this, but the bold admission came at an event during a broader discussion about the policies of the new Trump administration. Here is the governor. Listen.
Tammy and I were talking about, I don't want to get into too much detail, but there's someone in our broader universe whose immigration status is not yet at the point that they are trying to get it to. And we said, you know what, let's have her live at our house above our garage. And good luck to the feds coming in to try to get her.
Well, good luck to you, Governor.
What a dumbass. Well, I mean, I hope that it's great, because it shows, again, we want these people to be held accountable. Just because you're the governor doesn't mean that you can't, pay for your crimes. And he just committed a crime if that's the fact. And good for Alina Habba. I like her.
Yeah. This is a FAFO, John, right here for this guy, and hopefully we see him lose his job. So moving on from there, going to New York, and we just talked a little bit about New York. Obviously, Mamdani won the Democratic primary there for New York mayor, but Andrew Cuomo is not backing out. He decided to run as an independent to try and secure the mayor's race.
Hello, I'm Andrew Cuomo. And unless you've been living under a rock, you probably know that the Democratic primary did not go the way I had hoped. To the 440,000 New Yorkers who voted for me, a sincere thank you. Thank you for believing in me, in my agenda, and in my experience. And I am truly sorry that I let you down. But as my grandfather used to say, when you get knocked down, learn the lesson and pick yourself back up and get in the game. And that is what I'm going to do. The fight to save our city isn't over. Only 13% of New Yorkers voted in the June primary. The general election is in November, and I am in it to win it. My opponent, Mr. Mamdani, offers slick slogans, but no real solutions. We need a city with lower rent, safer streets, where buying your first home is once again possible, where childcare won't bankrupt you. That's the New York City we know. That's the one that is still possible.
All right, enough of that. All right, so Cuomo's in.
What a
lot
loser.
of people.
He even sounds like a loser. He sounds like Joe Biden at this point. It's terrible.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying that him staying in this race and running as an independent, he is going to split the vote. He's going to push Mamdani to an absolute clear victory. I've seen some polls. One poll came out that said that it's clearly Mamdani in the lead, with a distant second, Curtis Sliwa a distant third, and Eric Adams in dead last place. But then I saw another poll which saw Sliwa surging, which I find a little bit hard to believe because I can't see a Republican winning New York City. I don't know, John. What do you think?
I mean, that's all possible, of course, but you have, if all Republicans vote for the Republican, he should be in third or second.
Yeah.
You know, because you're going to have Cuomo and Mamdani split votes.
Yeah.
And you're going to have Eric Adams split votes. So, you know, the problem is there enough Republicans to votes 3? Is there enough Republicans to win? I don't know.
Yeah.
I would love to see him win. I don't know too much about him, but I mean, it would be great for a Republican to win and get all the support that he needs to turn New York City around.
Yeah, somebody needs to, and I know that we have seen stories now of places here in Florida. I believe Boca Raton reaching out to New Yorkers, telling them that they can move there if Mamdani wins. And I don't know. I know this for sure, though. Every poll that comes out, Eric Adams is in dead last place. So he has lost all favor amongst New Yorkers for whatever reason.
That surprises me, and I don't know how credible that is. I mean, that might be why they're running, but at the same time, I don't know. The power of incumbency is real.
Yeah. And you know, you have to wonder because you know that the Biden DOJ was going after Eric Adams. And
I mean, that sometimes that enchants people. I mean, it's not like that's necessarily when you can't trust the government, or the government that come after you is not like a reputation killing situation, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So you got to wonder why he's doing so poorly. It's, you know, I mean, he is in charge and New York sucks, but in large part, it's not his fault. He ran as a Democrat.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is a snowball kind of increasing problematic situation, and he's just the last guy. So,
yeah, I'm just shocked because he took a hard turn to the center, a real hard move to the center,
Yeah.
and I figured that would really help him in New York City, but it's just so far to the left in New York City.
yeah. So where are Mamdani's, where are Adams supporters coming from, and where are they at? Right?
Yeah.
Did they go to Cuomo, or I doubt that they will go to Cuomo.
Yeah.
Or did they go to Mamdani? You know,
I doubt they'd go to Mamdani. I mean, Mamdani is as far left as you can get. I mean,
so what I'm saying is that, you know, Eric Adams' support is low because they're asking Republican and Democrats.
Yeah.
Right? They're polling Democrats for a Democrat race, right? Are Democrats going to vote for the Democrat, or are they going to vote for the independent? You know, when you go independent, it's very hard to pick up the voters. So I think that's why, you know, it shows like that way, because you don't see all the independents. But I think he's certainly not going to come in last place. I think that would surprise me.
Yeah.
It would not surprise me if Cuomo came in last. Or Sliwa, for that matter.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, John. So would you believe that the Minneapolis mayor candidate is actually worse than Mamdani?
Everyone keeps asking me, Omar, why aren't you doing more videos? As a state senator with a second full-time job and a kid on the way, I just haven't been able to find the time. I've also been fighting for you, passing things like tuition-free college for working-class families, rideshare protections for our Uber and Lyft drivers, and the legalization of fentanyl testing strips. But this summer, you're going to be seeing a lot more of me, because we deserve nice things in Minneapolis too. To make an affordable Minneapolis that works for everyone, we need a mayor that works as hard as you do. I'm ready to work hard to 1. Build a Minneapolis that working people can afford to call home. 2. Protect our city from a hostile White House. And 3, diversify our city's public safety response. By increasing the minimum wage to $20 by 2028 and passing rent stabilization to stop price gouging and incentivizing new construction, we can protect workers. Protecting all of our communities from Donald Trump means not letting MPD interact with ICE, whether it's for an immigration raid or not. Our residents deserve a mayor that will stand up to Donald Trump and say, no, not in our community. Did you know that the city's own data showed that 47% of calls to MPD can be diverted to non-police response? Cops aren't social workers. Investments in programs like these ensure that the appropriate response arrives when we call 911. And we can actually free up police resources to focus on violent crime that detracts from community safety. Oh, I'm sorry. It's my campaign managers again. They've been on my case all week about make more videos. I'll find the time tomorrow.
Yeah, that is Omar Fattah. And if you don't recognize Omar Fattah, John, if you don't remember him, because you should remember him, he was
from a boat trip.
Yeah, he was in a movie actually.
Look at me. Look at me. I'm the mayor of Minneapolis now. Ilhan Omar is my sister. I married my sister Ilhan Omar and sleep with her all the time. Now take me to America and take me to Minneapolis to see my sister. I'm the new mayor now. Thank you, Betty.
Yes, that's him, John. That's him. And, you know, the thing he says in the video that MPD, the Minneapolis Police Department, they could be diverted away from going to certain calls. Now, Mamdani is saying the same thing, and what they're talking about is domestic violence. Yes.
Domestic violence calls. So they don't want women who are getting beat up to call the police. They want women who are getting beat up to get beat up.
Absolutely, because it goes along with their beliefs. That's part of their belief system. From where they come from, and there's no doubt anymore that Minneapolis is gone, John. I mean, it's totally gone. You see videos from Minneapolis now, it looks like you're in Somalia. Honestly.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It really is.
Yeah. So hopefully they can get away from this guy. I don't think they're going to, though, because like I said, it's gone. It looks like a foreign nation over there, and shame on the Biden administration. Shame on the citizens of Minneapolis that they have allowed this to happen in their city.
It's pretty terrible.
Yeah. All right, John. So this was an interesting story. You know, you hear Democrats, especially our national Democrats, talking about how the Trump administration and ICE is going after, just illegal immigrants standing outside of Home Depot, that they're going to work sites and construction sites. Well, that's not exactly true. They are going after illegals everywhere. And this story is very interesting over in Arizona, where there was a chain of taco shops and the owner was employing illegals in every single one of his restaurants.
It's rather unusual for El Taco Loco, a taco shop near 67th Avenue and Indian School, to have their doors locked on the outside and an empty dining room on the inside. The West Valley Taco Joint also operates a bus in Goodyear and a food truck in Southwest Phoenix. Here at 55th Avenue and Baseline is where El Taco Loco's food truck typically stands. People in this area tell us this has really been a food truck staple of the South Phoenix area. People believe it may have been seized yesterday as part of a federal investigation, and because of that, it is not here today. Tuesday afternoon, people in the South Phoenix area started posting videos on TikTok showing federal agents with HSI and ICE taking workers out of the food truck in handcuffs. And just a mile down the road, the home belonging to the taco shop's owner, Vladimir Angulo, also flooded with federal agents. It's one of 5 locations where HSI and ICE were investigating allegations of human smuggling and harboring of illegal immigrants. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Arizona tells 12 News Angulo is in federal custody, awaiting charges related to this case. At previous stops here in the Valley, President Trump's border czar Tom Homan warned these kind of arrests were coming.
If you knowingly harbor and conceal an illegal alien from ICE, that is a felony, and there will be consequences. Now, let me make it clear, The governor says I don't have the authority to do that. Well, no, I'm not a U.S. attorney, but U.S. attorney certainly does, and we'll ask for prosecution.
There you go. And another FAFO, John. And Tom Homan, he's not playing around at all.
It's a terrible idea to mess around with Tom Homan. It really is. There's no way around it. If you mess with Tom Homan, you're gambling because he doesn't care. He's got his retirement. He's not doing this for money. He's not doing this for any other reason except I'm going to smoke you. When you break the law, I'm going to smoke you. He's an ICE guy in the top position. It's like hiring a cop, like a beat cop who's a tough crime to be the guy at the top of the food chain. And it's a good idea, obviously. It worked very well for the Trump administration. In this case, it's just a good decision.
Absolutely. And you see, John, with this story, the guy that went down for it, that was running these taco shops, he lives in a mansion, a very nice home.
Because he's paying illegal aliens to do his work.
That's right. He doesn't want to pay Americans, and he probably justifies it in his mind that he's helping out these poor illegal immigrants.
I doubt
he's giving them a
justifying
job, but he's probably underpaying them massively. They said that there was some human smuggling going on there, so there was a lot of bad things going on, and I'm glad to see the guy go down. Honestly,
I mean, he's betraying two groups of people, betraying the elite and he's betraying the Americans. So I don't think anybody's going to miss him.
No, not at all. Not at all, John. All right. And Governor Gavin Newsom was on the Sean Ryan podcast, and Sean Ryan show.
Oh, I saw parts of this. Is absolutely.
Yeah. Sean Ryan show is usually a really great podcast to listen to. I think a lot of people were surprised that he had Newsom on. He did say that he was open to having anybody on to talk candidly and straightforward with whoever he has on there. So he did have Newsom on there, and Newsom acted very strange the whole time he was on there. Weird hand movements and just very animated.
Manly guy.
Yeah, a ton of lies. And thankfully, Sean Ryan did call him out on a couple of them, did challenge him. But it was very interesting that Gavin Newsom was going, he goes on. And if you follow Gavin Newsom, if you see him on X, he's constantly going after Trump. He's constantly going after, now he's going after Epstein. And he's one of these ones that's piling on about Epstein. But he also goes after him about ICE, especially illegal immigration. And Newsom goes on Sean Ryan's show and he says that illegals are the backbone of the California economy.
Community, all these mixed status families, $8.5 billion of tax collection in California every year from undocs. $8.5 billion that we receive just at the state level of taxes. That was the last Pew estimate. So it's not insignificant. Backbone, it's half of our agriculture work. You care about farmers and ranchers? If that's what your number one go-to commitment, then you sure as hell should care about their workers. 41% of our construction workers, Texas and California have the highest percentage of their construction workers that would fall into that category. How the hell do we rebuild Altadena and Palisades? We're going to need a peak next year. We estimate about 70,000 workers. Without that workforce, ain't going to happen. You're struggling here. You imagine a peak there. So I think there needs to be a pathway for those folks as we secure the border, and we own that issue.
Do you feel that they're taking American jobs?
Not in Tulare County. Not in Ventura County. I don't know many people that want a job out there in those packing facilities. I don't see many people look like me jumping at those jobs. I just don't. Maybe there's some.
That's where Newsom should be working.
Yes.
He's doing a crappy job everywhere else.
Look at your the people that are getting unemployment benefits. Those are the people that should be working in those industries and those packing plants and places like that. In these counties, Governor Newsom, that you say that you can't find anybody that wants to work there except illegal aliens. I mean, the guy's just full of it, John.
I mean, it's not only is he full of it, but he's destroying the future of the country and the economy. Our kids don't want to work in construction. Our kids also don't know how to swing a hammer anymore. This is an important thing. As you know, as a man, this is the world were to end tomorrow, the way that we know it. If we went to war tomorrow, we wouldn't know how to swing any hammers. The guys that of the age group that are supposed to fight our wars can't be outside in the heat for more than 10 minutes unless they're oiling themselves up and taking pictures, selfies of themselves. Yeah. You know, it's okay for our teenagers, for our young men to get out there and do some labor.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, me, I don't know anybody that looks like me. I don't know anybody else that wears that much hair grease. So it's not about you. Yeah, we get it. You're a rich, spoiled kid. You're an idiot. That's fine. But the average American, no matter how much money they make, this is why I'm for compulsive service. You know, you should have to serve 2 years at least to your country in some way. I don't care if it's the Forest Service. I don't care if it's the police. I don't care what or the Army. You know, whatever it is that you do, 2 years of service, because you never want anyone else to ever create another Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, no doubt. Especially when you see California, you know, the things that are happening in California, like people pooping in the streets and being allowed to, that they have an app that you can track poop in the streets.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still have that app, but they also have, John, a gay robot running around Los Angeles.
Not real. Hi, Gorge.
That is a robot.
Look at it running.
It's crazy.
Yes! So cute! Bye, robot! Ah, it's waving at us!
Unbelievable.
Oh
this
my
is
God.
This is what they
that
have.
voice is, I don't know what's worse, the robot or the voice.
Yeah, no doubt, John. And you have this gay robot running around that says "Not Elon's bitch" on the front of it. Real nice, but this is the state that Gavin Newsom runs. Anything he says, you really can't take any. You can't take at face value.
I mean, it's just everything that Gavin Newsom has touched is like Nancy Pelosi touched it. It's terrible. Terrible.
They're related, aren't they? Aren't they related?
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's just, God, I don't know how they tolerate Californians, how they tolerate it.
All right, John. So moving on, we're going to end the show on a good note. We're actually going to end this show on a good note. I try to end the show on a good note every time that I get a chance. And this is probably the best news besides finding out or having it confirmed that there was a coup run on President Trump's first term.
And that they're paying for it.
Yeah. But this was some great news.
Oh, hey, everybody.
Uh-oh.
We got a great show for you
What
tonight.
happened?
Senator Adam Schiff was my guest. We harmonized on 7 Bridges Road. What
It's
a voice.
even better when you can't hear him.
But
It's
before
even
we
better
start
when
the
you
show,
can't.
I want to let you know something
Yes.
that I found out just last night. Next year will be our last season. The network will be ending The Late Show in May.
No.
Yeah, I share your feelings. It's not just the end of our show, but it's the end of The Late Show on CBS. I'm not being replaced. This is all just going away. And I do want to say, that the folks at CBS have been great partners. I'm so grateful to the Tiffany Network for giving me this chair and this beautiful theater to call home. And of course, I'm grateful to you, the audience, who have joined us.
Well, I'm hearing that audience has dropped off significantly since these guys, and I'm talking about him, Kimmel, and Fallon have been late night talk show hosts. And to be honest, John, though, this forum is going away altogether. I mean, I don't know who still watches this stuff except for extremely old people that are just used to watching the major news networks and watching them at night.
I mean, people that used to watch that show were college kids, right? And young adults. They stayed up late. They would watch the news. Sometimes watching the news was like something that a lot of people did. And then you went to bed after the news. And early you stayed up and you watched those late shows. The problem is that, number one, we have to be clear about something. If they were making $1 gajillion, they would be not going anywhere.
Yeah.
They're going away for a variety of reasons. Number one, they're losing fan base. Number two, everybody is just bored of your liberal outrage. All right. And number three, this format, like you said, is it's better to talk with people who are more authentic and have a more authentic kind of like process or format, like Twitter Spaces.
Yeah.
So a bunch of people are on Twitter, people are on chat groups, you're watching the news on the internet. These networks, they just don't have a lot of value anymore, not the way it was before.
No,
and that's why all advertisers are going to these other formats also.
John, they're not interesting. They're not funny. They
it's
are
the same, boring, outrage,
entirely biased and in the tank for the left and Democrats, and that goes against the majority of America. So how do you expect to have an audience and keep an audience when you go against everything that your audience believes? I mean, it makes no sense whatsoever. Makes 100% sense that this guy's going off the air. Couldn't come sooner, that's for sure. And actually, it could come sooner. Let's have it happen tomorrow. But
couldn't come soon enough.
Yeah, it couldn't come soon enough. Well, hopefully, this is one down, 2 more to go. Hopefully, the other 2 will follow suit. I don't know. Some are saying that this actually has something to do with the lawsuit that President Trump had, or that got settled with CBS.
Yeah.
Over 60 Minutes. Now, you would think 60 Minutes would be going off the air if that was the case, not
part of the settlement. I mean, you give and take.
Yeah. Wow.
You just never know. I don't know if that's the case. I haven't seen the settlement, obviously, so that's where it would spell that out. There might have been some kind of unspoken, negotiation, which is kind of funny that he got Colbert. But here's the thing: Colbert was funny when he was not political. He became political, and all of a sudden, it's just like, okay, you can make a couple jokes about, like, when the funniest Trump jokes were the ones that Trump made about himself on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Right? He was willing to go up there and be self-deprecating and make a joke about himself. And that was funny. That's when they were funny. And now, just their outrage. And it's basically somebody trying to be funny through their hate of one person. And you know what that's like. People who hate somebody so much and they're obsessed. Yeah. That's not pleasant to watch. And whether it's on TV, it's not pleasant to listen to on the radio. It's just not good. So this is good news. It means maybe our world is going back to normal, and these faux self-righteous, outraged liberals will take their tears home.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, John. So that is it for this evening.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We love you. We appreciate you. Please like and share this show. That's extremely helpful. We'll see you next week. I'm former school board member John Arguello. This is my great friend, citizen Tom Lord. God bless you. We'll see you soon.
Well, I mean, I was entertained, to be honest.
I think it is rich beyond measure. The fact that a school board member that has tens of millions of dollars of conflict of interest before this board has the courage to come up here and talk about anyone's behavior. If anyone should be ashamed of themselves, sir, it should be you.
And I'm in favor of you being able to speak your mind, no matter what. That's how we get. Remember when we were kids, right? And you had a problem with somebody, and then your dad would kick you out to go fight with that kid, and then you shake hands, and then you go home, and then you become friends. Disgust when they're trying to, take this word and give it meaning that it doesn't have. Our entire country needs to go through a fasting. see all of these new age hippies, right? They're constantly fasting. They're doing starvation diets, or they won't eat for this. What is it called? Like some kind of
intermittent fasting.
intermittent.
You know, it's not just us, and not just fans of President Trump, MAGA Republicans. We're not the only ones that see it.